Getting the finance as in the scholarship or loan to study in the US is one thing, but presenting it in the right way to the university or the consulate is what decides the success of getting your I-20, your visa, and sometimes even the admission. So in this video, I want to holistically cover the entire financing aspect of studying in the US, like the scholarships, the loans, how to apply, when to apply, and the proof which you submit to the university, the consulate, what is accepted on I-20, what is not accepted for I-20, all those things. I studied as an international student and I know how confusing this whole finance thing can be because this is your first time of going through it. Friends and cousins can tell you what they did, but they won't be able to tell you how to do it differently. So I hope this entire video will be a treasure of information for all the US aspirants who are planning to study in fall 25 or later. Watch the full video. Hello all, this is Damini, co-founder of VMX Scholars, India's largest education finance platform. So we started in the year 2015 with funding and support from Government of India, and our sole purpose is to help students like you with scholarships and education loans for your higher education. So our videos are the most trusted source of information than watching some random blogger. Though we share the information virtually through these videos, but if any bank staff in your city denies accepting any information which is shared by us, then we are just a call away. Just call us and we'll speak to them and will resolve the issue for you. Loanflix web series talks about everything about education loans, and this particular video is about the whole financing aspect of studying in the US, your scholarships, your loans, your self-funding, how to use the loan sanction letter or scholarship letter or your bank statements for getting your I-20 and F1 visa. What details are important on the sanction letter, what details are required to get your I-20, literally everything. Let's start, but before that, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, otherwise how will you get to know whenever we publish a new video which is relevant to you. You'll be shocked if I tell you the deadline for the 100% fully funded scholarship for fall 2025 intake was in May 2024, 8 months ago. Yes, Fulbright scholarship closes every year in May for the next year's fall intake, as the screening committee requires at least 1 year to do the entire selection process. So that's gone for fall 2025, guys. But those who are planning to study in 2026 or the year later, you can still apply for that scholarship. Now let's talk about what is still open. So if you go on vmxscholars.com, the scholarship page, the link is in the description, you'll be able to find more than 3,000 scholarships which are still open for Indian students to study in the US. But with every day as we are speaking, these scholarships are closing, and most of these will be closed by the end of April. To give you two examples, there are a few scholarships which you could check out alongside others. Number one is Master's Scholarship offered by Duke University School of Law. You could check that out. And then there is Education Future International Scholarship. Both of these scholarships are still open but closing soon. So the bottom line is, if you ask me when to apply for US scholarships, it's as early as possible. So before I talk about the education loan timeline, you need to understand the timeline for US admissions, the I-20, the F1 visa, and at what stage exactly you have to submit the financing proof. So the first thing is applying to universities. Most of the students do it between November to February. Some students do apply it in March or April also, but that's lesser. Now when you are applying to the university, some of these guys are going to ask you the financing proof along with the admission documents. Yes, you heard me right. Some of the US universities require your financing proof along with the admission documents. For example, San Jose State University. Now, most of the students feel that they won't be able to get a loan at this stage because there is no admit. But you're wrong. When you approach them directly, the banks may not give it. But with VMX Scholars, we will be able to get you a capability certificate from a public sector bank like SBI, or a conditional sanction letter from a private bank or NBFC. You can very much use these letters as financing proof when you're applying for the admission to these US universities. To get in touch with the financial officer at VMX Scholars, you can call us on the number which is shown on the screen, or you can request a call back via the link which is in the video description. Please note that all our services are absolutely free, as VMX Scholars is funded and supported by Ministry of IT, Government of India. Now coming to the I-20 stage, all the universities will be requiring a financing proof to issue you an I-20 after your admit. So at this stage, you for sure need a loan sanction letter if you don't have personal funds. Now to answer your question, when to apply for an education loan. So if your university requires the financing proof along with the admission documents, you should apply for a loan at least 1 month before your university admission application deadline. Now if your university does not require the financing proof along with the admission, in that case, you should start arranging the loan letter for your I-20. And the best time to apply for a loan is not after you receive your admit. An ideal student applies for an education loan immediately after they apply to the university, because it gives them sufficient time to properly compare, evaluate, and apply to various loan options. And it also gives you a sufficient time to collect hundreds of documents which are required for a public sector or a government bank who can give you the lowest rate of interest. If you approach the bank directly without an admit, they won't even give you the document checklist. That's why you should talk to your financial officer for the initial eligibility check and to get the document checklist. And to get in touch with the financial officer, what you have to do is call us on the number which is shown on the screen. And there is a very important point which I want to clarify here, that you do not pay interest on a loan until you use the amount. In other words, you pay the interest only after you have taken the disbursement. That has nothing to do with the timeline of your sanction. Once your loan is sanctioned, you have an entire window of 6 months to take the disbursement and you can take it at your comfort. So do not delay your loan sanction process only for the reason that you're thinking that you might have to start paying interest. It doesn't work like that. Coming to the financial documents which are not accepted for I-20, though I told you can submit your loan sanction letter or self-funds proof. To request I-20, please note that universities do not accept the following. Number 1, your income tax documents. Number 2, your property papers or documents of any other assets like your car, jewelry, etc. because they need liquid money. Your cryptocurrency or Bitcoin documents, your share certificate, your provident fund like PF, PPF, EPF, GPF, none of these are acceptable. And you can very clearly see that on the NYU screenshot which I have put on the screen. And please note that this is not just applicable for NYU. Most of the US universities will not accept these documents. Now, when you opt for an education loan sanction to get your I-20, the first thing you want to make sure is that the sanction letter is in a proper format and is in a format which is accepted by the university. So what I'm going to do now is show you some of the popular US universities websites and read out the requirement they have specified for the loan document. So again, on my screen, you can see the NYU website. So the first point you have to keep in mind is that the sanction letter shouldn't be provisional or conditional loan sanction. Like some banks issue this letter when your loan is still in process. It's called as the in-principle approval letter, or they will issue a loan sanction letter with conditions like subjected to the legal check of the collateral or any other condition for that matter. Such conditions shouldn't be there, otherwise such a letter will not be accepted for your I-20 and even for your visa. And you can see the same thing mentioned on the University of Maryland's website as well. Now, the other points about the sanction letter which you can see here are the following. The sanction letter should have the name of the student or your parent, you can say sponsor, the date of loan sanction, which shouldn't be older than 3 months, terms and conditions of the loan, if any, loan disbursement statement if you have already taken a disbursement, and of course amount of the approved loans. There also has to be the stamp of the bank and the letter should be in English. So please make sure you are looking for all these things on your loan letter. Sometimes banks will deny giving you the letter in a format which you desire or the university requires, but such issues will not happen if you apply for your loan via VMX Scholars. That's why instead of reaching out to us when you're already in trouble, you should instead start your loan process via VMX Scholars only. To get in touch with us, you can call us on the number which is shown on the screen, or you can request a call back via the link which is in the video description. Now, coming to how much amount you show to get your I-20, I'm not sure if you noticed on the Maryland screenshot which was on the screen until a few seconds ago, it clearly specified that to get your I-20, you have to show an amount which is equal to your first year of expenses. For those of you who do not know, I-20 is an immigration document which is issued by the university and it is required for your visa purpose. I-20 clearly specifies your expenses for your first year of education, as in your tuition fees plus your living expenses. Now, to get your I-20, you need to show funds equal to your first year of tuition fees and living expenses. But please note that these funds need not be from one source. It can be a combination of your scholarship, your loan, your self funds, or it can also be from a single proof. Now, when it comes to visa, you need to show a financing proof which is at least 1.5 times of your I-20 amount if you're going for a 2 years master's program, or it should be at least double of your I-20 amount what you show if you're going for a course which is longer than 2 years, for example a bachelor's degree. Now, how much is your I-20 figure, or how much is your first year expense? For that, you can look at the admission confirmation email which you have received from the university. For example, you can see this on my screen. This email is from University of New Haven. It's an admission confirmation email and the amount is clearly specified here. And you can also see the university website in case the admission confirmation email doesn't say that. For example, you can see this Arizona State University website and you can see the amount is specified here. Coming to the last leg of this video, I'm going to tell you what sort of a financing proof do US consulates prefer when they are evaluating your F1 visa application. But please note that consulates never say this openly or never acknowledges this in any public communication. All the things which I'm going to tell you is established through a survey done with 11,000 Indian students who applied for an F1 visa in 2024 and were either issued or rejected the visa. Number one, Indian loans over foreign loans. The visa officers do not prefer that you take an education loan from a US lender because it kind of gives them a feeling that you're intending to stay back in the US, and that's why you have taken loan from a US lender, because you want to build your credit history well in advance. So it gives them a hint that you are not planning to come back to India after your studies. That's why you should preferably take loan from an Indian lender. It is 100% correct. You can do your research. The second thing is financing proof for full 2 years, that is I-20 into 2. So what we observed that the students who showed the financing proof for full cost of attendance, that is their entire 2 years, I-20 into 2, that sort of an amount, had a 32% better success ratio compared to others who showed 1.5 times of their I-20 amount, even though that was enough. Now when I say funds for full cost of attendance, it doesn't solely have to be from your loan or self funds. It can be from a combination, as I already said. Now for example, if you're showing you have secured a scholarship for your first year of education, you can count on that and show the rest from other sources. Now for second year, you're assuming that you will get the same scholarship again, but there is no proof as of now. In that case, you have to show the difference from the other sources. I hope that is clear. That's it for this video. I know it was a little too much of information. Feel free to watch it again if you missed some of the important points and you forgot to take notes. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below or directly call us on the number which is shown on the screen and we'll resolve all your questions. And if you want us to help you with your loan process, you just have to request a callback via the link which is in the video description. Please note that all our services are absolutely free as we are funded and supported by the Ministry of IT, Government of India. And if you found this video useful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends and colleagues who might be planning to study in the US. And last thing, do not forget to comment the name of the university where you're going to in fall 2025. You might find some roommates here. See you soon. Bye-bye.